Japan Pot 18. Considering its limited space and natural resources and its crowding, Japan's achievement in economic productivity, educational standards, health, and control of crime are in a class by themselves. This success is more striking when one considers how far behind Japan was in many of these areas, not only in 1945 but even in the mid-1950s. After recovery from World War II was essentially complete, many Americans seem interested in finding some explanations of how the Japanese have used unfair tactics to outperform other countries. Charges that they are imitators, narrow economic animals, and dumpers, and that their government and the business have illicit intimacy are not uncommon. Such facile attempts to explain Japanese success may ease American anxiety about our performance, but not only are they unfair to the Japanese, but they blind us from learning about the Japanese success and condemn us to failing further behind, condemn us to falling further behind. Japan has serious problems aside from crowding. Its universities are generally mediocre, discrimination against Koreans and the descendants of the Tokugawa period outcast, the Burakumin, widespread defensiveness against the foreign contamination, and relentless government bumbling in the planning projects such as Narita Airport, sometimes distressing, and in big business treatment of public complaints, often arrogant. Since the focus of this book is not on a rounded picture of Japan, that on the practices potentially useful for American wanting to improve our country, such problems will be considered in detail only where relevant. The question of whether these problems are essential parts of the institutions we might want to borrow. The institutions that follow were chosen because they are crucial for understanding overall Japanese success and because they could be models that America would do well to emulate. Well, with it we come to the end of our part 1, and now we move on to part 2. It is about the Japanese success. Part 2, Japanese successes. Well, part 1 had 2 chapters. Chapter number 1, the mirror, and chapter number 2, the miracle. And now we have got chapter number 3, knowledge, pursuit, and consensus. Chapter number 3, knowledge, pursuit, and consensus. If any single factor explains Japan's quest for knowledge, if any single factor explains Japanese success, it is the group-directed quest for knowledge. In virtually every important organization and community where people share a common interest, from the national government to the individual private firms, from cities to villages, devoted leaders worry about the future of their organizations. And to these leaders, nothing is more important than the information and the knowledge of their organization that the organizations might one day need. When Daniel Bell, Peter Drucker, and others hailed the coming of the pre-industrial society in which knowledge replaced the capital as society's most important resource, This new conception became a great rage in Japan's leading circles.